Hello, everyone. I'm Rich Harrison. Today, TJ Brown and I are going to talk with Northern Colorado's Jonah Radebaugh, the only player in Big Sky history to be named Defensive Player 3 times. A 4-year starter, he finished his career as the all-time leader in the conference for minutes played and also ranked 4th in Big Sky history for defensive rebounds. This season, he averaged 16.5 points and 6.3 rebounds per game, while making better of 49% of his shots from the floor and 44% from deep. He also averaged 6.5 assists per game, which was the 12th best in the country. Hello, Jonah.
Hi, how you doing?
Doing good. Thanks for coming.
I'm doing good. I'm having problems stuttering.
It's all good, Rich. I'll start off with the first question. So,
All
John,
right, good.
yeah, I know this year hasn't gone as expected for you and a lot of college basketball players since the season ended prematurely, as well as March Madness not being even a question or even possibility due to coronavirus. And since the virus has taken place, also the Black Lives Matter movement has been to the forefront. So over this time period, how have you spent your time, and have you been able to focus on basketball since everything has pretty much changed in our country?
It was kind of hard at first because a lot of the gyms and stuff like that closed down for the coronavirus and stuff like that. So some like recs and stuff are starting to open back up. So I've kind of been hitting some like private runs up in Greeley that I have with some of the guys that like have played like D2 or going into college around here, just keeping links with some guys like that. So I've had some of that. I've been lifting a little bit more too because recs are starting to open back up. So weight rooms are back. I'm just happy to be working on that stuff again. But I've been to a couple protests down in Denver and just kind of trying to stay totally up to date on all the stuff going on in the world right now. It's hard with everything that's going on right now. So I've been involved in that, but my main focus has been, just trying to stay in the shape that I'm in right now for, if something happens soon, it's kind of all up in the air right now. So I'm kind of just trying to stay in the best shape that I can be during this time. But at the same time, if I have some free time, I'll go down to Denver and get involved in some of that stuff at the same time.
I have a quick two-part question. So first, what part of your game do you take the most pride in? And second, what do you think you can work on the most going into the next level of basketball?
I think the aspect that I take the most pride in is definitely my defense and my versatility on that end of the floor. I feel like I'm a really smart player. I can help on, I can play the backside, play help. I can guard the ball. I can guard like ball screens. Like in my whole career at UNC, I played the 4 a little bit. I played the 5 a little bit, and I played 1 through 5 in all my time here. So I feel like I'm real versatile on that end of the floor, and I can just about get it done whenever you need me to get it done. And I feel like something that I need to work on the most right now, I would probably just say just overall confidence while playing. It's kind of different when, you have some time, like I had 5 years at UNC to kind of grow into the program and grow into my role and figure out what I needed to do. But when that last year came, I was ready to, kind of just take it to the next level. So, but once I start playing with that confidence, I feel like I'm, I might not be the most talented, but I'm one of the smartest and probably one of the best players on the floor more often than not. So if I can just keep that confidence going with me, I feel like I'm pretty unstoppable most times.
Along those lines, I'm going to ask you to part 2. But I'll add it literally in two parts. So the first part is you really did take over as a guard until a senior, and in fact, I'm not exactly sure what going to happen, because when I watched the Texas game, you still weren't totally dominant. You totally were on the ball most of the time. It seemed like you were playing a lot, off the ball. So, but when I watched later on the season, you were the man. So, at what point did they make transition? And I don't mean this as a criticism, but I'm just curious, why did it take them so long to move you to the point, when you were so effective there?
Well, like you said, like that Texas game, I was kind of playing off the ball a little bit, and like coming up to that point, I was kind of still just figuring out, because we had a pretty new team this year, so I was kind of just figuring out like what all the guys needed from me and where I should be at most times. And then a couple of games down the road, our point guard Sam Maston, he ended up getting hurt. He broke something in his hand or something like that in practice. So he went down, and we didn't really have like a true like backup point guard that we could really trust in the games yet. So that's when they moved me to point guard. And, we played South Dakota at the Pentagon. And that was probably the first game that I was dominating the ball for the most of the game. I think I finished with like 25 or something like that. And from that point on, they kind of just, as a team, we kind of realized like with me on the ball, I can like dictate everything that happens on the floor. So I kind of, after that game, we went to Wyoming, and we dominated them with me playing point guard. We went to the Bahamas, or we went to the Bahamas and we went to Cancun. Sorry, we went to Cancun, played Boston University. Yeah, I had a really good game then, and from that point on, we kind of went into conference knowing like, okay, with our point guard Sam down, like we can just move Jonah to the ball, and he can kind of make all the stuff happen. And at the same time, I was kind of just trying to be more aggressive attacking, because like, we lost our point guard. So I kind of just tried to take that role of being super aggressive with the ball while also keeping my teammates happy and involved at the same time. Like, like you said, I averaged 16 a game, but I was still at like 6.5 assists per game. I took a lot of pride in that. Once Sam went down, I kind of had to take a lot of the load. So yeah, once that South Dakota game came around, I kind of warmed up to it, and it was just off to the races from there.
Since you basically were thrust into this role late in your career, do you feel like there's a lot of potential for you as a lead guard, as a playmaker, as a scorer, as a point guard?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you said, like I hadn't played a lot of it up until this point. Like my only experience before this year was last year. We had a really good point guard, Jordan Davis, who's playing in Israel, and he's going to be playing in Spain this coming year. And teams would start to double team him a lot. So once that started happening, like they just kind of moved me to the point guard and kind of just see how that worked. And it worked out kind of well. So I had a little bit of confidence doing that already. But I feel like, like moving forward, I can kind of do whatever a team needs me to do. Like I had 3 straight years of playing, like sit in the corner, shoot corner threes, and play defense. And then this last year kind of evolved into me being that like productive guard. So I feel like I can only get better at that. And I feel like I still have room to grow in that department, but I definitely feel like I can kind of do it with the best of them right now.
Okay.
And yeah, I feel like I can read a defense well. I can, like we ran a lot of ball screens this year, and I feel like I've just about mastered running a ball screen, like picking guys apart and hitting the big and, when to take the layup and stuff like that. So I feel like that's definitely a big part of my game right now. And if teams reach out and they want to be able to utilize that in me, I would be more than happy to, play some point guard at the next level for sure. I feel like that's something that I've gotten really good at, and they would be stupid not to use it,
Mm-hmm. And speaking of your last season, how did you approach the summer before your last season? Did you try to be more like work on your ball handling? Did you try to become more aggressive and improve your confidence as a scorer going into this final season?
Yeah, I was, me and Jordan are really good friends, and we talked like almost every other day. So once the season ended, we kind of just like we're talking about what like I needed to improve going into the next year, considering the whole team that we had. And I was working a lot on just being that aggressive scorer, like ball handling and stuff like that. Like I had, I've been able to dribble before, but like you said, like it's been good, but I haven't been confident with it. So I was working a lot with that this year, just being confident with the ball and, doing stuff like that. So this summer I worked on a ton of like ball handling, shooting off the dribble, because I had been shooting basically catch and shoot my whole time at UNC. So I had to work on shooting off the dribble. If guys go under ball screens or if they go over, I can hit the mid range and stuff like that. So it was mainly working on that confidence as a scorer and just getting my ball handle right. I could pretty much, like I've said before, I'm a pretty smart offensive player, so I could already read like, the ball screens in our whole system and stuff like that. So I was kind of just preparing myself to be like ultra aggressive when the season came around. And once the season came, I just kind of had to feel out what my guys needed from me and what the staff needed from me. And then once I figured that out, it was kind of just, just give me the ball and let us go.
As I watch you play, I'm kind of amazed. It's like you have there's like a magnet in the ball. Could you describe that process of what you think makes you a good defensive or rebounder in general?
At first I think my career kind of started at UNC with like I kind of had to find a way to get on the court. So in practice a lot and stuff like that, I would take like the hardest defensive assignments I could, like guarding Jordan every day and doing stuff like that. And one of the things that came with that was, like things that not a lot of guards can do is rebound. So, early in my career, that was kind of, like I was trying to get 10 rebound games. Like I wasn't really worried about scoring. I wasn't worried about like, like hitting a certain number of shots or anything like that. I was kind of just like, like very first year I was focused on just playing strict defense, getting the rebounds, make sure they don't get any. And on offense, I'm crashing every single time trying to get an O board because that's my job. But I was basically just like, coach says, need you to play defense, crash on offense, crash on defense, and you'll play. So I was like, absolutely, I can do that. I just want to play. So I've kind of, I've had years go on, and I've gotten better at rebounding, but like this last year, I kind of, it wasn't like my forefront in my mind was like, got to get this defensive rebound, got to get this offensive rebound. Like it was a little bit different, but after those first couple of years, it was kind of just like ingrained in me that if I want to play, I've got to play defense. I've got to rebound. I've got to chase the ball 100%, like do everything I can, like as fast as I can, as hard as possible. So that's kind of where that came from for me. And, I'm not like a real big guard, but I kind of can play, like play situations. And now at this point, it's not just like mindlessly crashing every time. It's like, oh, if I have a chance to get this one, I might go crash and try and get that one. But I'm not going to put us at a disadvantage in transition because I'm mindlessly running at the rim trying to get a rebound. So, I've kind of I think that's kind of evolved in me in these last couple of years, just kind of taking that, like next mental step in something that just used to be like motor, just got to go get the rebound type stuff. So I've kind of just evolved in that mental aspect of it too. I kind of do that a lot, even when I'm like playing like at the rec center, like just playing like, like open gym kind of stuff. I've noticed myself doing that a lot, where I can kind of just judge where it's going off of, like you see where they shot it. I can kind of tell if it's a little bit far or a little bit short. So you can kind of, like I said, like that used to be my only job. So I think I've gotten pretty good at it up until this point. So that's definitely something that I do a lot, judging like distances and, like where it's going to hit the rim and stuff like that. So that's definitely something that I do. You're not just seeing things.
You had an illustrious career at Northern Colorado, what are some things that you'll take away now that you're moving on?
I kind of learned a lot about just like interacting with, like teammates and, like leadership this year, because like I said, we used to have Jordan, who I would kind of just pass a lot of that stuff along to, because he was my senior and I kind of didn't have to worry about a lot of that stuff. But this year I kind of just, like knowing how to get what you want out of some guys. Like you can't just, some guys you can really just like go and get on and they'll, like they'll respond right. But there's other guys that you kind of have to like be gentle with, and you can't just yell at them all the time and, stuff like that. So I feel like I've kind of learned a lot about leadership and, like team camaraderie. We had so much fun playing this year. Like it wasn't, like it was like laughing and smiling on the court. Like even, like even if we're not like dominating a team, like we're still like out there having fun and just playing the game that we love. Because at the end of the day, it's just, like we all love playing basketball, and we're playing at a Division I school. Like that's basically like every kid's dream. So just kind of living in that moment, being the kid that I am, and just out there having fun. But at the same time, like it's really, for me especially, it's really a business and it's my job. So I kind of have to, like take stuff like, like have fun with it. But at the same time, like, I know how to be a leader. I know how to like talk to guys certain ways and get what I want out of them. Like sometimes you gotta be kind of nice to them a little bit, like encouraging players and stuff like that. So I try not to just be, just like a mean leader that nobody likes and nobody wants to talk to. If he comes to talk to you like you're doing something wrong or something like that, I've had a lot of experience this last year with just being that leader again. So that's definitely something, just being the right kind of leader, and at the same time just having fun with it.
Yeah, those intangible skills and leadership, that's super crucial when you get to the next levels. That's great that you got that chance to improve on them.
All right, Jonah, I'm going to ask my last question. And are there any NBA players? And now I know your style has changed dramatically this year, but has any players over the years, the NBA players that you emulate and you kind of compare yourself to? You think this is who I want to be. This is how I ultimately this is the kind of player I'd like to be.
Yeah, it's kind of changed over the years. Like like my role has kind of changed, but I used to I watched a lot of like PJ Tucker and like Patrick Beverly and like those kinds of guys, just on like just kind of, because they're like ideal. Like you have a role, like fit into your role. Like your role might not be to go score 15 or 20 a game. Like you have a job that you have to do to help the team win. So I was kind of more of like a Patrick Beverly, like PJ Tucker, and like kind of like a Gary Harris. I used to watch a lot of, especially Gary Harris. I would watch a lot of his stuff because he does those things, but at the same time he can go like get a bucket when you need him to. So I watched a lot of that. Right. And then this year it's kind of turned into my real main one that I watched a lot and tried to put into my game was Paul George, because he can, like he's lengthy. He's a really good defender, like especially on the ball. And at the same time, like you can put him in a ball screen, you can ISO him at the top of the key, and he'll go like make something happen at the same time. So that was somebody that I watched a ton of Paul George clips this year, just trying to be that like real two-way guy that can get you a stop and then go get a bucket on the other end at like any given time. So that was the biggest one for me this year.
Thank you so much, Jonah. It was really fun, and we really wish you well. Yeah, it was great talking to you.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. Thank you.
We appreciate it, getting through this internet connection issues.
No problem. Thank you guys.